You train 10 hours a day. What do they actually feed you to keep that up?
What do they feed me? In the morning, porridge so thick the spoon stands at attention. At lunch, cabbage soup with more water than cabbage. And for dinner, beef, well, something that once knew a cow. But look, I throw 6 kilos of iron 20 meters on that menu. Imagine.
Comrade officer, why do you check passports on the street so often?
Because if I stop doing it, people might start thinking they are free to go wherever they like. Then who'd keep the snow company at the station? Besides, the passport likes fresh air too.
How long do you usually wait in that bread line?
Depends. If the truck comes on time, only 2 hours. If it doesn't, we stand long enough to become friends, enemies, sometimes married. Either way, the bread's still warm by the time we reach it. Miracle of socialism.
How long do you usually stand in that bread line?
Depends. On good day, 2 hours. On bad day, still 2 hours. Just for bread that tastes like yesterday's newspaper. But hey, it's ours, and we don't need butter to imagine it's gourmet.
Thank you.
You'll get in line, you'll see.
Comrade Trotsky, why shut down private trade if people are hungry?
Because, my dear, hunger is a terrible negotiator. If a man can sell bread when wallets are empty, he owns the country more than the government does. We decided to own it first. Think of it as nationalizing greed, cheaper than feeding it.
Comrade, you're in charge of grain requisition. How do you convince peasants to give up their harvest?
Simple. I tell them the grain now belongs to the working class, and by a lucky coincidence, the working class keeps it in our warehouses. If they smile, good. If they don't, we still have the grain. Very persuasive system.
How long would it take for someone like you to get a car?
Depends. If I order one today, I get it in maybe 10 years. If I pay extra, sign all the papers, smile nicely, still 10 years. But then they tell me which decade.
Comrade teacher, how do you keep students motivated when there are hardly any new textbooks?
Oh, we have very modern system. The pages fall out one by one, so the children never know which chapter they'll get next. It keeps them in suspense. And anyway, history doesn't change.
You were a train mechanic in the 70s. What was payday like?
Payday? Ah, glorious day. They gave us rubles that could buy exactly 3 things: bread, vodka, and a ticket to stand in another line. But we felt rich because the rubles had Lenin on them and the bread was sometimes still warm.
Comrade, you're cooking for the factory canteen. Do you actually get to eat meat yourself?
Ha! Meat? Only if the cow signs a party card and walks in here by herself. Most days it's cabbage, potato, and my dreams of Sunday roast.
What do you think is the hardest thing to find in shops these days?
Ha! Easy question. Honest price tag. You can find sausage if you stand in line, sugar if you pray, but the price tag that tells the truth, that's in the museum, dear. Maybe next to the mammoth.
Thank you.
Sister, how do you treat patients when there simply aren't enough medicines?
We get creative. 1 aspirin for the whole ward, so I cut it like communion bread. For fever, we use cold water, or if the party delivers, vodka. It's not in the textbooks, but neither is importing penicillin through Poland.
What takes up most of your day here?
Standing still, mostly. We form a line, wait 2 hours for bread, then a new line for sausage that ran out yesterday. Very efficient use of time. I arrive at work just in time to go home. But hey, the cold keeps the butter from melting before you buy it, when they have butter.
You sew uniforms all day? What keeps you motivated?
Oh, the thrilling variety. Yesterday I stitched a pocket on the left side. Today, same pocket, right side. Keeps the mind sharp like a butter knife. And of course the plan promises we'll catch up to America by Tuesday.
How do you manage to meet the milk quota every day?
Simple. I tell the cows the plan says 5 liters. They roll their eyes, give me 6, and call it a victory for socialism. As long as the inspector only counts the buckets and not the bruises on my hands, everybody's happy.
Excuse me, how do you manage to find meat nowadays?
Easy. I go to the shop, ask for it, they laugh, I laugh, and then I buy more pickles. Keeps the teeth busy and the state statistics happy.
Thank you.
Anytime, if you catch me before the next miracle delivery.
You're a physicist at the Institute. When can ordinary people expect to have a home computer?
Home one? Comrade, first we need enough transistors to finish one for the office. Right now, our personal computer is a room with a guard and a radiator that never works.
How many cows do you actually keep now that everything's collective?
Officially none, personally 1. She belongs to the state, but she listens to me. State doesn't milk at 5 in the morning, I do. So we share. The government gets reports, I get breakfast.
Fair trade then?
Depends who you ask.
Since the anti-alcohol campaign started, has it changed your weekends?
Of course! Now my husband spends Saturday morning standing in line for mineral water instead of vodka. He comes home just as cheerful, only takes 3 bottles and a lemon to feel it. Progress, you know.
When was the last time you bought fresh oranges?
Oh, New Year. Which one? The one when Brezhnev still had eyebrows. I queued 6 hours, got 2 kilos, and my husband sniffed them like perfume for a week. Since then, only dreams and marmalade made from carrots.
How many hours do you work out here in a day?
Depends which day you ask. On paper, 8. In real life, sunrise to the moment we stop seeing the rake in front of us.
They say the plan will thank us. Haven't heard it say a word yet. But at least the potatoes don't file complaints.
What keeps you hopeful here when everything seems in short supply?
Hopeful? Well, yesterday the shop ran out of bread, but they still had jokes. As long as we have those, we won't starve completely. And anyway, spring comes every year. Even the party can't stop that.
How long do you usually wait to get simple things like bread?
Depends. If the truck comes on time, 20 minutes. If it doesn't, 2 hours, a thermos, and half the neighborhood's gossip. Today I got lucky, only the gossip. Bread's still warm, imagine that.
Thank you.
Don't thank me, thank the truck.
You work the collective fields every day. What keeps you going?
Well, the beet harvest waits for no one, and Comrade Accountant back in the office, he waits even less. He's counting on us to meet the plan so he can write another report about how happy we all are. So I keep digging.
Comrade, how do you manage when the fuel ration runs out before the field is done?
Same way we manage when vodka runs out before the toast is done. We improvise. I drain a little from the combine, borrow some from the chairman's jeep, and suddenly the plan is fulfilled and everybody's a hero.
How many hours do you work out here during harvest?
Same number as the sun, dear. When it gets up, we get up. When it finally quits, we still give it a few more. Keeps the plan happy, even if our feet aren't. But hey, at least the tractor takes breaks when it breaks.
What was the hardest thing to find in the shops back then?
Oh, that's easy. Everything. But officially, it was meat. We queued 3 hours for half a kilo. And by the time you reached the counter, it had been promoted to bones with ambitions.
How long does it usually take to get a call through to another city?
Depends. If Moscow feels generous, maybe half an hour. If not, you might grow a new hairstyle waiting. But don't worry, while the line's busy, you have time to knit a scarf for the person you're calling.
Do they pay your student stipend on time?
Oh, absolutely. Like the train to Vladivostok in February. You hear it's coming, you freeze a bit longer, and maybe a week later it rolls in, missing half the wagons. I sell back issues of Pravda in the meantime.
You're a student here in 1923. Do you feel you're getting enough books for your studies?
Books? Sure, one for the whole faculty. Printed in 1898, missing the last chapter. We cue to read it like it's a loaf of bread.
Comrade teacher, do pupils really need to memorize all 45 points of the party program?
Need? No, dear. But they will. Otherwise, how would they pass the exams that no one is allowed to fail? We call it character building. Also keeps the parents quiet at meetings.
Doctor, what's the hardest part about keeping patients alive here?
Hardest? Deciding which miracle to attempt first. Penicillin we don't have, anesthesia we stretch with vodka, and the heating works only when the party inspector visits. But somehow, most hearts keep beating.
Comrade officer, what happens if someone makes a joke about the party?
Ah, easy. We write it down. Laugh twice. Once in the office, once at the trial. And then give him 10 years to think of a better punchline. Keeps morale high.
10 years?
In Siberia, the winters go fast.
How often do you mill actual wheat these days, not barley mixed with hulls?
When the plant says we have wheat, I mill wheat. When the plant says we have unicorns, I'll be sweeping up horn shavings. Mostly I grind whatever the trucks bring. Rye, barley, sometimes it's 40% air. They call it balanced. I call it stretching a loaf.
How much do you get paid for a day in these fields?
Officially, 8 rubles. Unofficially, the real profit is 1 loaf of bread I buy with it and the 6 new blisters I grow for free. But don't worry, the state thanks me with a certificate every October.
What would you say is the hardest thing about finding fresh vegetables in winter?
Hardest? Maybe remembering which neighbor I promised to trade my last jar of jam to. The state says we have plenty, but the shelves say try again in May. So we play detective and barter.
You're training for the Olympics. What's your diet like with the meat shortages?
Diet? Well, breakfast is porridge, lunch is porridge with a heroic name, and dinner is porridge pretending to be steak. The trick is to chew faster than you think about it. Builds jaw muscles. Good for boxing, bad for romance.
You're studying engineering here in 1923. What does lunch look like for you on a typical day?
Lunch? If the canteen has bread, it's a holiday. Usually it's cabbage soup thin enough to read Lenin through, and a cutlet that used to be a potato. But the good news, it's all free.
You cook for the workers here every day. What's the hardest part of feeding people in these times?
Hardest part, getting meat that isn't still walking. They say we're building socialism, but I'm mostly building soups out of bones and hope. And if I find a carrot, it's a holiday. But look, everyone eats, no one starves. How many liters you have to deliver to the state every day? Officially, 40. Unofficially, 40 plus whatever the cow dreams during the night. They count every drop like it is gold, but pay me in rubles that shrink faster than snow in April. Still, I hit the quota.
What do you miss the most when the shops run out of meat?
The butcher's smile. At least when there is no pork, he still has teeth to show. When meat comes, those teeth disappear behind the queue.
Fuel is always scarce.
How do you keep this tractor running?
Easy. I smile at the fuel chief, then he smiles at the column of numbers in his book, and suddenly my tank is half full. The other half I drive on hope and a bit of homebrewed kerosene. Tractor doesn't complain, only my lungs do.
How many hours do you usually work in a day?
Officially 8, same as every happy Soviet citizen. Unofficially, when the night shift ends, the sun is already gossiping with the morning shift. But it is fine. Sleep is for people who can buy pillows, yes? We get ours from the state once every 5 years.
How long do you wait for bread?
Depends. If the truck is late, only 2 hours. If it comes on time, then 3, because everyone else heard the rumor first. Gives me enough time to finish this cigarette and read last week's paper again. But hey, at least the bread will be fresh.
How long has a patient usually wait here to see a doctor?
Depends. If it's flu, about an hour. If it's broken leg, 2. If he's party secretary, we suddenly discover the miracle of instant medicine. Everyone else learns patience. Literally.
How long do you usually wait in that bread line?
Depends if they're baking or just pretending. On a good day, 2 hours. On a great day, 3. And you hear a rumor there might be sausage next week. It's like fishing.
What do you spend most of your day doing?
Standing, mostly. Here in that line, sometimes in another. We make sport of it, see who can queue the longest without falling over. Yesterday I waited 3 hours for sausage. Got none, but made 2 friends and a frostbite. Very productive day in the workers' paradise, yes?
How often can you buy fresh fruit here?
Fresh? Ha! In summer, if you run faster than your neighbor. In winter, the bananas ride the train from Cuba, but they get frostbite halfway. So we boil jam and call it a victory. Works every year.
How long did you wait for that bread today?
3 hours. But don't worry, it's still warm from the hands of the 5 people who passed it to me. If I'm lucky, I'll get butter next week to celebrate its 2nd birthday. At least the line keeps us social, like a giant outdoor club without music.
Comrade, do you feel free to choose what you buy for dinner?
Of course. Absolute freedom. I stand in the shop, stare at the empty shelf and decide, nothing or nothing with bones. Today I chose potatoes. The state and I, we have same taste. Anytime, if there's time in the queue.